Okay, Shrikopaths. So I tried to get another Ching and ended up with Ereshan instead. And then I got Viola from the compensation settlement. Not complaining. Now I have every character in the game. I caught them all, as it were. Now the challenge will be to build them all, since I am scraping the bottom of the barrel with resources. But today's guide will be on Ereshan, and believe me when I say she is just built different. This girl does nothing the easy way. From her build to her playstyle to her role in the story, she just has to be special. I'm Shrike, subscribe for more gacha content, let's dive in. So as for marks, the game recommends Prophecy of the Tower and Tiger's Might, with attack, darkness damage, and pierce. They have a tendency to always recommend a 10-piece and a 5-piece. They can't really think outside the box. But the big heads in Discord recommend a wacky build with 5 5-pieces, no 10-piece, using Golden Branch, River of Oblivion, Tiger's Might, Shining Star, and Dragon Essence, with crit rate, crit damage, and pierce as the focus. Yeah, pierce, not attack. Weird, right? From both of these, we can deduce that she's supposed to be somewhat of an anomaly nuker, and that her ultimate is worth investing resources into. The disparity here is in the stats. The game wants to lean into darkness damage, while the folks in Discord, who are much better at math than me, suggest building crit rate and crit damage. Now, it's my understanding that Anomaly can't crit, but perhaps when all is said and done, going all in on darkness damage ends up doing less damage than the crit build. Now, I've disagreed with them on a few things before, but since I'm basically out of resources, I have to use what I've got. And I don't have any Prophecy of the Tower. So choose whichever build you prefer or go in a completely different direction. But I've decided to build her with thunder damage, light damage, fire damage, and double Tiger's Might and Golden Branch because I don't have anything else. So yeah, don't look at my stats. My damage will not be there, let's just say that. Do not build Ereshan like this. Along those lines, I do not recommend building as many characters as I have. I am stretched very thin. If I had a mark in every stat, I would go the 5 5-piece route with the crit build. It just feels more efficient to me. But this is how you'd fit those 5 5-pieces into the grid, and if you're going the other way, this is how you'd fit them in. And just real quick, her exclusive weapon makes her deal 20% more damage to an enemy that has her special mark that she can apply, and it also makes that mark transfer to another enemy upon death. More on that in a minute, but it's a good amount of extra value, so it's worth getting. Moving on to her skill kit. Basic attack is a 3-hit combo that is quite possibly my most hated skill in the entire game. Honestly, it infuriates me. It doesn't say it anywhere in the skill description, but on the last hit of the combo, she suddenly dashes backward out of the fight. Talk about immersion breaking. I'm literally trying to fight these enemies, but she keeps trying to run away. It's so annoying. But there is a reason for it, I'll explain in the combat section. Skill 1 is where she throws her scythe, and if it hits an enemy, it stops and spins in place. If you hit skill 1 again, she'll teleport to the scythe and do a fancy attack on the enemy. Oh, the spinning scythe deals chase damage, so that's where the bonus will go from the mark if you put that one on her. And the fancy attack does enhanced. Her skill 2 does a couple things, but none right away. Like zeros, it's unavailable at the start and you need to charge it up. The only way to do that is with her fancy attack. Literally no other skill charges it up, which requires you to use the skill 1 twice, and it only charges it up a little bit each time. Once it is fully charged though, she'll do a big AoE dealing charged damage and mark the enemy with the most health. She'll do more damage to that enemy. But also it uses up her charge and puts her into this special state. Not visually represented anywhere for whatever reason, you just kind of have to know that she's in that state. And during this state, if you hit skill 1, it won't throw her scythe, but instead will go straight to the fancy attack. And you can do that 4 times. And it will enhance her skill 2, allowing you to do one final super fancy attack. That one will be charged damage. So a lot with this one skill. Her passive is what puts her into that state and lets you do the 4 fancy attacks. And it's what enhances her attack when certain conditions have been met. Her ultimate deals a big chunk of AoE damage and then sucks up to 4 enemies towards you. So far, the only kind of enemy location control I've seen in the game. But it is weird that her whole shtick is that she wants distance from the enemy to throw her scythe, yet her ultimate draws them to her. I could see maybe timing it so that you could use the ultimate and then her skill 2 AoE attack maybe. A notable talent is her 4th, which combined with her mark gives you a hint on how she wants to be used. Her talent 4 allows Ereshan's ultimate to deal 10% more damage to elites and bosses. Notable potentials are her 3, 5, and 6. Potential 3 grants her a summonable shadow that deals damage alongside her and 5 and 6 make the shadow stronger and more effective. As for skill priority, her passive and skill 2 will be the most important, followed by her ultimate. Skill 1 and basic don't really matter much, and take this with however many grains of salt you want, but Discord recommends upgrading her combo pretty early too. Like maybe passive skill 2 and then combo. I usually ignore combo, but maybe it really benefits her. But now let's get into combat. I know people disliked her, but I had assumed it was due to her lack of power. And it might be, but now I'm convinced it's also because her kit is just wacky. Not complex like Wuxia, where if you master it, it all comes together beautifully. This just feels clunky, like it's missing a piece to make it flow smoothly. Let me explain. So pretty much you'll be starting off at a bit of a distance, and you'll skill 1 to toss your blade and then teleport in, doing the fancy attack. But skill 2 isn't fully charged up yet, and you can't throw your blade again because you're in the mob. Well, you can, but it kind of sends you outside the mob when you do, so it's not that efficient. This is where her basic comes into play though. 4 quick strikes with that, and like I said, she gets the heck out of there like her mom's coming home early, which gives you space to skill 1 again to get back into the fray. A few of these dash out and teleport ins, and her skill 2 will finally be charged up and you can use it. That's the big AoE that marks the biggest enemy and lets you use her fancy attack 4 times. Using these fancy attacks will charge up her skill 2 gauge again, but this time, once it's full, hitting it will launch a super fancy attack. Though her kit seems to be designed to take out elites or bosses, but her rotation is pretty janky. It's not smooth at all and it takes forever to get through. To summarize, skill 1, basic string. Skill 1, basic string. Skill 1, basic string. Skill 2, skill 1 4 times, skill 2 finale. You'll have to practice the reaction time. Once she dashes out, you skill 1 back in, and it feels bad to have to use mundane basic attacks. And they aren't necessary, but in my opinion, it's the most efficient way. It does some damage and then gets you some space to skill 1 again. But you could just skip it by maybe swapping her out in between, or just dashing or walking yourself out, or just throwing the scythe from inside the mob. The swap out might be the most effective since you could bring out another DPS or a buffer. That would look like this. Skill 1, swap, swap back, skill 1, swap, swap back, skill 1, skill 2, skill 1 4 times, then skill 2 finale. Like I mentioned before, her ultimate being a kind of vacuum means you can use it right before her big AoE. So this would be skill 1 a bunch of times, and then once skill 2 is ready, pop the ultimate and then the skill 2 AoE. You just have to remember to follow that up with the 4 skill 1s and then the finale. If the damage Ereshan dealt was bonkers, I could absolutely see her being extremely good. But the effort needed to get through her combos doesn't seem worth it without her shadow. At potential 3, she gets a shadow that pops out and attacks whenever you use a fancy or a super fancy attack, which will be fairly often, and that's probably why you'll hear people say that she needs her dupes. I always thought it was just for her personal damage, but no, it's an entire part of her kit that isn't online until that point, and even then I feel like she's missing something. It's the basic attack part. There should be a string of skills or just a single skill that connects the 2 parts without needing to wail away with basics. Like, okay, if her basic attack got enhanced once she used her skill 1 a second time to teleport, and using that enhanced basic was like Wuxia's directional dash that gets him out of the group and damages enemies along the way, that would be amazing. Skill 1, enhanced basic dash out, then skill 1 back in, repeat. I mean, if I'm missing something and there's a better rotation for her that I'm missing, please tell me, because I have tried to streamline this, and this is the best I've come up with. But enough of that, let's talk teams. Ereshan is in a weird spot where I think she was designed to be a main DPS, but her playstyle doesn't quite allow it. Yet she can't be used as a sub DPS, she requires too much on-field time. But I think an essentially 2 sub DPS team could work if the second one was quick, like Viola or Nana. But as Nana is also dark, I don't know if we really need them both. But Ereshan and Viola could work very well together. And the third could be Zero. Or for a bit more sustain, Ninsar could work. She's dark too, but she's not a DPS. So I think as long as both DPSs aren't dark, it should be fine. I don't suggest placing her with any main DPS because she'll either hog the field or won't be used to her full potential because you'll be using the main DPS too much. I've seen people put her with Enki actually, but I don't know a thing about his kit, so I couldn't tell you why that team could work. But that's it for Ereshan. I'm gonna fly now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.